Disclaimer. If you don't like a bunch of cursing, you can leave. Five, four, three, two, one. Bye. Also, you can leave if you don't like people telling stories about abuse and you think they should just keep it quiet. Five, four, three, two, one. Okay. So I'm here because there's a lot of demonic activity going on, and it's time for these demons to get exposed. And at the end of the day, they got to face the music. Cue the intro.
Story of my life, just hustling flow, baby. To pimp a butterfly, I'm hustling flows, baby. Shit funny, roll with the jokes like a roast, baby. Now that's the end of my speech to this toast, baby.
First and foremost, y'all, what y'all are about to see is my character. Okay? This is just that same character that you have fucked up. Okay? It's plain and simple. This is me. This has been me. This is the same character you just have fucked up. Okay? That is what it is. This is not no new person. This is the same person. Okay? Let's get that straight. All right. So first, I want to give y'all a little brief background of my family dynamic. I want to say I am the last born of uh four altogether, it's four siblings altogether, whatever. And there's a huge age gap between me and these siblings. It's really big, over 11 plus years, whatever. So I'm the youngest, whatever. So, so to preface this, I'd like to say I'm not going to say any names. However, I'll give nicknames. So there's sister one. We're gonna go with let's go with bo- bowling ball. Okay. And the next sister we're gonna go with um mm, Pinocchio. Okay. So there's two siblings. That the third sibling, she's for this story, she's gonna be left out of it for the most part. Okay. And I'm not saying sorry, y'all. And I'm not saying everybody is, a villain or everybody is like, somebody's too much of this or too much. Y'all can form your own opinion, but I do want to get this out. Okay. So I'd like to start off with, we're going to go with Bowling Ball. And Bowling Ball and Pinocchio, we're going to call them twins, but they're not really twins, okay? But they have a very close, I want to say, 1 or 2 year gap. So they became very close to the point you can call them twins. And another reason why you can call them twins is because I believe they have one brain cell split into two, meaning they don't really have an identity, okay? They don't really have an identity outside of themselves. They've been like this since forever. So you can't really say one has a distinct personality from the other, but if you're around them enough, they do kind of act different in some way, like twins, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So first, we're going to get to bowling ball. All right, so bowling ball, I just want to start this out by saying me and bowling ball, since I came out of the womb, since before I was in the womb, not before I was in the womb, while I was in the womb, bowling ball did not like the idea of me being here in general. Bowling ball did not like that. So after I came out, I had to come into a dynamic of there was already a beef straight out the room from like a teenager. Okay. So, and some of my earliest memories, y'all, was some of, bowling ball just not liking me. And I just remember I got a little bit older to where I gained consciousness of just like, I think these siblings might be a little insane. I do remember one of my first memories was they was just always doing some stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? It'll just be like, I see them doing some stupid shit. I think it was something like they snuck out the house past curfew or some shit like that. And I remember telling my mom, like, don't worry about it, mom. They just some wax dummies. That's one of my first memories from them. So, and then just years after that, it was just like I just always felt like I was a little bit more mature than them. They was just always doing something stupid. But it was like I just know these were some shifty motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of weird. Um, so yeah, with bowling ball, I do remember one time when I was a little younger, she used to hit me with like a not hit me physically. She used to be like, you just wait until you're older and mom has a baby on you. You wait, you just wait. And I'm just like, I'm still waiting. I guess they saved the best for last. Hey, that's all I'm saying. Anyways, so yeah, that's the dynamic between me and bowling ball. It was really rough. It'll just be like a typical bully, but not even in a way of like back and forth sibling beef. It'll just be it would be a lot of projecting. Okay, let's start off with that. So bowling ball, and I don't want to call bowling ball fat. However, let's just say this. If bowling ball was a car, she'd take up 3 parking spaces. And I'm not calling her fat. You know what I'm saying? And what the okay. And me okay, anyway. And me, I just got fat, y'all. I'm fat. Okay, I just got fat within the past 3 years. I wasn't fat before this. Okay, so yes. So all of this to say, when I was younger, I want to say before I was even a teenager, bowling ball used to project so much, y'all. It'll be like, since she, was on the heavier side, she would see me just growing up into what I needed to be or whatever. And she would be like, you have stretch marks, you're morbidly obese. She'd be like, you're morbidly obese. And it'll be like, mind you, I was not even the slightest bit of fat. And you know what I'm saying? And I saw how fat she was, but I knew she was insecure that I just let her have it because it wasn't bothering me, but it was just the fact that she thinks she can say some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, when I started to tell my parents that bowling ball would say some shit like that, and I'm not liking that she say some shit like that, they'd be like, "Oh, well, she's mentally ill. She's not all the way there. You know what I'm saying? Just ignore it. She's just trying to get under your skin." And I would ignore it. I would ignore it just to appease them. But in my mind, I'm like, baby, I know it's gonna be a point in time when they ain't around. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay. All right, you can keep taking the pop shots and she'll be, she told me one time, like, oh, if you get too fat, men don't like that. Oh, heck no. Like, of course you care about that, baby. I don't care. What if I'm gay? You know what I'm saying? You think I give a fuck about a man? I don't. All right. I'm getting parched. I'm thirsty right now. But yeah, you see guys, I'm not in my studio, but we're gonna call this car the kitchen because I'm about to cook today. You know what I'm saying? These things need to get exposed. I'm old enough to where I won't be silenced anymore. Silence speaks now, so I won't be silenced anymore. Trust me. Trust me, you don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So the dynamic between me and bowling ball, it has been rocky. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you might see here and there like, oh, but this person did this, and she's generally happy for you for doing this. Yes, two things can be true at once. Okay, yes, maybe she helped me with something, maybe I help her with something. That doesn't excuse any type of abusive behavior to somebody that's like light years younger than you, bitch. Like you're automatically insane for that. You know what I'm saying? And just to come to me and just directly attack me once you see me. Once you see me, you just gotta hit something. You just gotta hit some type of aspect about me that you don't like about yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was. It was just straight projections with this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Whew. Anyway, so I just want to preface it by saying Pinocchio, me and Pinocchio, I would say me and her never had a direct beef ever in our life. We never had a disagreement. It's me and Pinocchio, I can't say we were necessarily cool because these demons, they was just in and out of, like, we could go a whole bunch of years without talking and that was just our dynamic or whatever. With none of my, siblings, we did not have that. It is cars going around. I hope y'all can't hear that in the audio. But with me and these siblings, we never had that sisterly dynamic. I don't care what y'all see, what y'all think, what y'all heard, fuck what y'all heard. Okay, we ain't have that dynamic. To me, not to me, not no sisterly dynamic. I couldn't go to them hoes for nothing, and I didn't want to, because at the end of the day, when you start to grow up a little bit, even when I was younger, I just remember I wasn't really fucking with them since I came out, like straight out. I was like, oh, these some shifty ass bitches. You know what I'm saying? I can't really fuck with them. So as I got older, it was kind of, mind you, it wasn't even, it wasn't even shit that was being fed to me. Like, look, look at how you act. I can see it. It's nobody feeding this stuff in my ear. I'm just seeing y'all being weird, you know? So that's that on that. So me and Pinocchio, I will say, me and her never had a direct beef. But however, when you're so close to somebody that is a weird person, you yourself, you're a weird person no matter what you do. So it's just by association. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, cool. Yeah, it could be true. We used to play video games together, okay? You used to make blueberry muffins that I love so much and I crave. You know what I'm saying? You might have did my hair, you might have did that. We were cool when we was cool, but we could go 5 years without talking. I got so used to it. I never truly missed them. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I never truly missed them because they was such a chaotic force in the household, to the point of like, yes, we can have good times, but at the same time, y'all are doing some crazy ass shit, to the point of like, I don't want shit to do with y'all. And I'm not even going to say the crazy ass shit they was doing, because that's their story to tell. That's not necessarily my story to tell. That part isn't really my story to tell. But just know, when I say it's some crazy ass shit they was doing some crazy ass shit. It is what it is. If you know, you know. So why am I here talking about it? The big old question. Why am I talking about this? Okay, glad you asked. All right, last week I get a message on Friday. It was around 11 a.m. Um, it was a very, 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 very nasty message. A very nasty message that nobody wants to get that as their first message of the day. You know, nobody wants to have that type of message of the day. And what that message consists of was, first, it said, stop trying to be messy. Okay, it said, stop trying to be messy. First of all, it was anonymous. It said, stop trying to be messy. And then it goes to say, you need to be worried about why you lied about being raped. You need to worry about the conditions of my mom's home or whatever, and how depressing it is. And she said, it was a long paragraph of just her, this person was spilling some deep seated hatred of like, where could this be coming from? And at the end of it, she said, you're in everybody's business. You're in everybody's business. And I know it's hard to not be, because you're so miserable. You live in the house of horrors and you don't have a life, but I know it's hard because you live there. And I was in a bunch of laughing emojis, like that shit was funny. I'm like, okay, I see the message. one of the first messages I read, and I'm like, I can't tell y'all how I found out about who it was. I won't reveal that part. But this message came from Pinocchio. Yes, Pinocchio, the sibling that I never had a direct beef with ever, not one disagreement ever. I I I don't know why she would do that. I have no idea. Mind you, we haven't spoken in months, yes, but that is our normal dynamic, so that's not weird to me. And the last time we spoke, we were on good terms. So she never told me directly, and then she did it from a throwaway number like a coward. You know what I'm saying? For you to be a Leo, you a cowardly lion. Ho. Bitch, I thought you was smarter than that. But I forgot. You know what? I'm not even going to talk about the fucking Photoshop high school. All right. So I got to talk to y'all about a TikTok incident of where I can possibly try to piece. Cause again, these bitches didn't directly tell me what the fuck their beef was about me, but so I guess they want me to go trying to figure it out. So okay. Oh yeah, I want to start I want to like kind of preface it by saying like my whole life I just knew I needed a life outside of them, like outside of who they were. I did not want to be in that family dynamic at all. They don't invite me to anything, but at the same time I didn't want to be invited to their shit because I'm just like I got to get out of this. My whole life I felt like this but if I go to something that's out of the respect for my parents or something like that. But in all actuality, in a perfect world, I would have they would have never heard a word from me way back when in single digits. That's how much I wasn't really fucking with them. And I still don't. So I'm gonna explain to y'all my social media journey. So I didn't really get on social media in the social aspect way until I was 18 years old. But before then, I was kind of on social media, but it'll just be YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like kids want to watch YouTube, I'm on YouTube, but I wasn't in that social media stuff like until 18. Like, the Facebook, all of that stuff, cool. So whenever I got on the platform, I made it a point to never like directly go to their page and add them because it's like if I'm trying to have a life outside of them, I don't want them in it. But if they sent me a friend request, okay, cool. I'm gonna add you. I don't want no type of that type of weirdness type of situation of like, okay, I'm full on rejecting y'all. So it was like that. Like we can be cordial, okay? But at the same time, and I guess it was because I was still at my parents' house and my parents loved them and I love my parents. So it's like I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Let's just be cordial. So let's think of that. So I've always accepted their friend requests on every platform or whatever, since I was 18. That was the thing. So fast forward to now, 2026, mind you, I've had TikTok for many, many, many years. I don't know. It was probably around like 2020, I want to say, if I remember correctly. So, and during 2020, during all these years, I did constantly see a notification of like suggested user and it'll be Pinocchio. And I never clicked on that bitch. I never clicked on it because I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? They got to come to me if they want to be friends. So I never requested that for all of these years. But fast forward to maybe maybe a good like 4 or 5 months ago. I don't remember. Three months ago. I don't know. Some type of months ago. I just kept seeing Pinocchio pop up. It was like Pinocchio viewed your page. It would be one day. I'm like, okay. And my brain was like, oh, she's fishing for something. She no, no, not she's fishing, she's baiting me into looking at her page. So, so yes, Pinocchio saw your page, and then it'll be like the next day goes, and it's like Pinocchio just looked at your page, and I ignored it. And then it was like, then the next day it'd be like Pinocchio liked your video. Confirmation. Um, Pinocchio liked your video or whatever, and I'm just like, I'm still not about to look on her page. And then it's like another day. It'll be like weird hours of the day too. It'll be like at 2 a.m. Pinocchio viewed your profile. Pinocchio viewed this, and it went on for like a good week. Mind you, I never looked at her page because I'm like, she's baiting me. She's baiting me to look at her page, and I'm not going to do it. Nor am I interested because don't get me wrong. When I when I add the, I know when they add me and I accept the request back, I put them on mute. They're muted. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to see that lame ass shit they be posting. It just be too fake, and it just be too much to the point. I don't have a high tolerance for BS. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't even watch reality TV, y'all. That's just I don't have a high tolerance for fakeness. You know? So and if I'm seeing like I've never seen more AI in my life. Until you look, it's like it's cringe. The pages are cringe. I'm not trying to have that on my timeline, honey. So you're muted. We could be friends, but y'all are muted. I'm not trying to see that shit. It's weird. It's fake. You know what I'm saying? So and that's my whole point. And it's like you telling me I'm in everybody's business. I'm in 8 billion people's business. I'm not God. You know what I'm saying? You telling me I'm in your business when your business is fake? I'm in your sim business? Does that make sense? And don't you have to be in my business to know that I'm in everybody's business? I don't even know if you're in everybody's business because I'm not in your business. God, why would I want to be in your fake AI business? It's delusional. Why would I want to do that? You can look on my page and I look like somebody that doesn't want to be in people's business. Like, y'all can't even be in the places that I be at. Like, I'm at Prague. Y'all hoes can't even spell Prague. Y'all can't even get to Prague. Y'all don't know what Prague is. You know what I'm saying? My life, I live a totally different caliber of life than y'all. And I choose a totally different caliber of people to hang out with. So y'all asking me why, why can't I talk to these individuals directly? It's because they're still 12 and 13 in their thinking. Every single time they come at me with these like little demonic words, they never came to me and told me what I did wrong. When you talk to somebody, you're supposed to say, "Hey, um, do you have a minute to talk? I want to talk to you about this." So you did this to me and it hurt me because this, and I want to work this out. It don't be like that. They come in the very first message they send me. One time, Bowling Ball sent me a message talking about some you cowardly reject jackass, you retard, all of that. And it was just like, where was this coming from? You didn't even, it'll just be like, I'm guessing something they think will happen. I have no idea, y'all. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell y'all, they never directly told me what their problem was, nor do I be having a clue about what the problem be. You know what I'm saying? So it'll just be like I will wake up, I will wake up and get a nasty message, and it'll just be some hateful demonic stuff of like curses they trying to put on my life. That's how demonic it be. And then on top of that, it be projections, because I'm just like, wait a minute, you calling me, retard, and then it's like you were the one in special ed, but I was the one making honors, and it's like, do you feel that way about yourself? You feel like you're a retard? And it's like that would be having me thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you're insulting me, why do you be projecting the things that you think you are? You know what I'm saying? We know, first of all, I don't use that word. That is a slur. You know what I'm saying? I don't play about that word. So So yeah, you know what I'm saying? If you feel like you're that way, you need to go to therapy. You need to speak through it. Me and my friends and the people, the company that I hang out with, we know how to handle disputes maturely. It'll never hit the internet. We don't talk to each other like that. Okay, we have a higher caliber, we have a higher standard of living than these individuals, to the point it won't be like this. And I'm very, for y'all to be almost 50 years old. I don't even know how old, you know what I'm saying? For y'all to be almost 50 years old and I have not seen one level of growth from y'all, and I've been knowing y'all since y'all were teenagers, and I didn't even see a lick of growth from y'all. That's a shame. Seriously, it's a shame. It's a sin and a shame, and it baffles me because I don't know anybody else like that other than y'all. I've never met anybody worse than y'all. So yes, with that, so back to Pinocchio with this TikTok incident of her constantly looking at my page, constantly looking at my page. I wasn't looking at it. Um, so it's just been silence under that. And it's kind of, from my point of view, I feel like she was trying to bait me into looking at her page so she can make that message of like, hey, get out of my business. Even though it's like she tried to grab my hand and take me to her business. She wants to be the one to say, hey, get out of my business, you're weird. You know how the devil work like that. That's how it was. And you know what I also don't appreciate? Listen, me and Bowling Ball always had our beefs, right? And Pinocchio knows we always had our beef. So for her to send that nasty low blow message as her very first beef to me, she knows I was going to think it was Bowling Ball. She knows that, because me and Bowling Ball had beef my whole entire life. Direct beef, you know what I'm saying? Because Pinocchio, I've heard with my own ears that Pinocchio, she talks a lot of shit about me. And I just let her do that because I know she's a wounded person. She talks behind my back. First of all, she she's been highly invested in my life, and I hear her talking about things that I've never explicitly told her. But that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't help that. Y'all are going to do that. So I'm not even going to ask you to stop. I'll never ask you to stop being in my business because I know my business is entertaining. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it's going to be. And I can't stop that. So with that being said, I want to have it on record of, guys, I just want distance, and I want this distance to be permanent. I'm putting my sword down, okay? And let me tell y'all something. I might not have sisters, but I have brothers. And these brothers, okay, that y'all don't know about, these brothers, when I say jump, they're going to say how high, okay? Not only do I have brothers, but I have the captain of police of the district. He knows me on first name basis. I have his personal phone number, meaning if I have a problem with the police, if I have the problem with the police and they not handling a situation of my liking to the way that I want it, he's going to get on the police. So if you even think about retaliation, knowing that you have a bunch of skeletons in your closet and I have zero skeletons in my closet, I would play it smart. I would play it smart. Okay? Remember, y'all are the ones that be telling me, oh, you're so much smarter than us. You're better. You're this, you're more creative than us. Woo, woo, woo. Y'all always hype me up and said I was these things. I never even said that to y'all about, but y'all were the ones that say that. So don't think you can outsmart someone that's smarter than you. Okay? So, yes. Um, I do want this relationship, this whatever we have, this dysfunction, I want it to be permanent, okay? And I'm talking about permanent. Don't come back for anything. Don't contact me for anything, okay? If it's up, then it's stuck. And it sucks because Pinocchio, this was her first offense, just so happened to be her last straw. Anybody that knows me knows when I go no contact with somebody, we're done. I don't do that cat and mouse game that you think you can. I'm not doing that cat and mouse game. You think you gonna always make up and just like you and your twin do.
Remembering the world seems so cold,
not like
baby.
that.
The gas off, I heat the house
I'm
with the
just
stove,
going
baby.
back.
The story of my life just hustling flow, baby. To pimp a butterfly, I'm hustling flows, baby. Shit funny, roll with the jokes like a roast, baby. Now that's the end of my speech to this toast, baby.